Hey, kids, welcome to our podcast.
Or it's just two girls just talking about being bros. Honestly, welcome back. New week,
new us. Did you want to just...
whatever. I was proud that I got the name right, guys. This is
the name.
Our intro. And before we get started, make sure to follow us on all our socials. We have Instagram, 2GirlsBeingBros_, Twitter and TikTok at 2GirlsBeingBros. You can check out our YouTube channel, 2GirlsBeingBros. You can watch this podcast or you can listen to this podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, etc. Look at that. Look, I did so
Apple
good.
Podcasts!
Oh. I almost did so good.
Almost.
I was really feeling it today.
Yeah, do you know why? The only times she feels good about herself is when she tears me down.
What did I do? Let me have some overripe honey. Oh. Overripe honeydew. Wow, that's overripe. Oh, do you want to hear something?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I actually don't know if I can get through this. Okay, so I had a bit of an incident with the fruit.
Okay.
And it's very traumatizing. It's gonna hurt me. Okay. So, oh my god, I don't know if I can get through it. So I bought pre-sliced cantaloupe.
Okay.
Oh, I'm like cringing on the inside right now. I'm like, they're... Okay. Oh, I don't know if I get through it. I don't know. So I bought pre-sliced cantaloupe, and they were like the smiles. They were cut in like the smiles.
Yeah.
With like the skin on the bottom still, right? Okay. So I got these, right? And I was so excited to eat the can. Oh my god, it's so traumatizing. This to me, I'll explain in a second. You'll figure out when you're here. So I bought this cantaloupe. I was so excited to eat it. I didn't eat it when I bought it. I was gonna eat it the next day. It was nice and crunchy. I love my fruit crunchy. That's what I love, you know? So excited to eat it. I was eating it, and oh my god, I took a bite, and my teeth grinded so hard against each other, and that to me, I think it's the worst thing in the world. Like, you know, the nails on chalkboard, whatever, like that's my nails on chalkboard when my teeth grind against each other.
Yeah.
Like literally I have
that's
goosebumps.
The worst. That's the worst feeling.
And like, oh my god, I literally stood there in shock, and I didn't eat the cantaloupe, and like I don't think like me and cantaloupe right now, we're in a bit of a, like, I can't, like, literally just thinking about it, like my arms are full of goosebumps right now. Like that feeling, that to me is like probably awful. One of the top 10 worst feelings out there. Like, I don't care about nails on chalkboard, but that's my like equivalent to that. Like, oh, it makes me cringe so hard. Yeah. And like just thinking about that, like it makes me like physically sick, and like
I hate that. Like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It happened to me once at work, and I just like needed an extra 5 minutes. Like I was
traumatizing.
And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
it's traumatizing. That's why I kind of appreciate this melon's overripe, because like I can't grind my teeth on it. But oh, I hate that feeling so much. But
it's pretty good.
That just reminded me. Yeah, it's not bad. It's overripe, but like it does the job, you know.
It's just soft. It's not about overripe is like when you can kind of start tasting that the fruit like it's like it's starting to become a little bit of a wine. It's starting to be a kombucha. Yeah. But this is just soft. Like the flavor, I was worried the flavor was going to be off. But the texture, I mean, it's like a puree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
the worst. It's not. It's like an applesauce.
Yeah.
But melon.
Do you like your fruit soft or crunchy?
Crunchy.
Yeah, okay, same.
I'm a crunchy gal.
See, I'm a bit of an extreme where like it leads into bananas that I like the crunchy, but like we've already had that debate on here before.
Granted, okay. We need to settle something. Because as we know, Victory loves to do this dance of like, I'll say I like something, but instead of saying that you like it, it's just a preference over something, right? So for example, I also, was that you? Yeah, that was you. Like, I'll always take hot foods over cold. Will I eat a room temperature object? Sure.
Yeah.
A pureed soup will physically not be able to enter my body. Okay, so there's those two different distinctions.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the taste of a green banana. Oh, that makes it so much worse. I was hoping that would be the answer. Oh,
Sorry, continue.
that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I don't like any banana.
Yeah.
A green banana is wildly unacceptable, and a supremely soft banana is wildly unacceptable. The middle is like, I can get this down because I know that it's good for me, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, it's not a preference. Like, I only like them when they're like yellow green. May I correct you? And crunchy, and I like the taste. But any other banana I can't stand, and I will not eat it. But I do have banana flavorings. The fake banana taste is great. Banana breads, I'll eat anything. You know what I really want to have? A coffee cake. I haven't had a good coffee cake in so long, you know?
I
was thinking about it the other day.
Can we find one today?
You know what? Yeah, let's find a coffee cake.
I love coffee cake.
There used to be the one that like I think it was from Loblaws, but it was always at every family event. And like it was just me, 5-year-old Victory, down on that coffee cake. Victory has, she struggles with words sometimes. And it comes back to bite her.
Comes back all the time. But guys, fun update. Roxanne's got a new phone. Woo! So, I mean, we know that my old phone. So I waited. Okay, so my very first phone was an iPhone 7, like for reals, like that I could call from. And then, so I bought that in second year. And then I got the iPhone 11 in like my 5th, 6th year. So I had it for a good chunk of time. But like that phone was like, it would just shut off sometimes. It wouldn't charge. We've been through all this. At one point, it wouldn't even charge with an iPhone cable, like a real iPhone cable. I'm not saying like one of those that you buy like a Dollarama or whatever. Yeah. A real iPhone cable wouldn't charge this thing. The only thing that would charge it was the juice box that I had for it. That would sometimes not even work. So it was just like falling apart at the seams. It would just like, we had a lot of fun times with it. And eventually like I waited until this thing was like passing away for me to buy the iPhone 11. And then at the time I was like, I'm not going to pay for a phone outright, like blah, blah, blah. So I bought it like refurbished. I paid like a decent price for it, not the best, but also it was yellow. So it was cheaper. So it was like fair, where I was kind of like compromising on this phone.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I wore that shame for like the 1.5 years that I had it for, 2 years, just over 2 years now. I guess so. Around there, yeah, because I think I bought that one in 2020. But yeah, and then my phone company, they're like, if you upgrade your phone to iPhone 14 or higher, like you'll get a better phone plan. So I was like, well, why not? And I was like, my phone was like kind of, no, it wasn't falling apart, honestly. It's still in pretty good condition. Like the on button isn't working, but that was only a problem because I use Apple Pay all the time. So I was like, that would be an issue because I had to double click.
Yeah.
And it would let me one click at a time. And I think that was the only real issue. The battery life wasn't like horrible. It was at 82, but like, I mean, I was always around a charger, so it was fine. And then just the camera quality isn't the greatest, whatever. But anyways, so I was like, you know what? Call me crazy. Let me do it. I was like, I'm going to upgrade my phone. I'm going to get a good freaking camera. I was like, especially like going to Greece and stuff, like I definitely felt like I'm not going to bring my camera with me. And then like my phone camera was like, okay, it was good enough. But like now that I'm going to California, we're going to freaking New York, I'm going to Brazil. Like I was like, might as well have a device that does it all.
Yeah.
On top of that, I was like,
treat yourself.
Why not? I was like, might as well like invest properly. So I was like, it's a phone and whatever. So I finally got it and I ripped that Band-Aid off. Hilarious though, because I purchased it. It took the money. No confirmation of like your phone's coming. No tracking number. So I was like, okay. I gave it some time and I was like, okay. And then like I called them one day and they're like, yeah, no, like we have it on record. It's coming, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So funny enough, so I called them the Monday and then Tuesday I was off. That was the first day I had off in like I worked 5 days straight and then I had Tuesday off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep in. Like, I was like, so I think it was like 11 at this point. And then like between like 9 and 11, I was kind of waking up and I would like check my phone because I know sometimes people contact me in the morning. So I like look and I see like a text and it's like, oh, like shipment from Pure Later coming in today. Like press this link to track. And I was like, yeah, right. Yeah, okay. yeah, I'm sure I have a package from Pure later that I need to track, right? Mm-hmm. And then, so like I go back to bed. That was around like 9:30. And then I like opened my eyes and I was like, no, wait. It's my iPhone. And I opened my eyes and I like get up and I was like, I think I have to get up because I have a feeling the phone's going to come soon. Mm-hmm. I kid you not. I'm like, I stand out of bed. I look through the window and I see the Pure later truck coming. So just in time I came to sign it because obviously you have to sign for it. So if not, I would have to go and get it. So it just worked out flawlessly.
Perfect.
And then I got it. Granted, I did have to wait because I ordered a case and a screen protector and I had to wait for that to come in before I like officially took her out to play. But I didn't end up doing that either. So I don't know what I was on thinking that. But
too excited.
Here it is. I got in the deep purple, the
it's
iPhone 14
such a Roxanne
Pro.
Color.
It's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. And then I got myself a privacy screen protector because my brother is a leech and he's got this man like. I know that I now have it confirmed that he specifically looks at my phone screen on purpose because I'm someone who like it'll like when your phone lights up like I'll look to it, but it's only because it's like I mean it's at this
reaction,
point exactly right. Like I don't want to be that person that like reads people's text messages. Like
but it just got
I never do it on purpose.
Yeah,
I will do it by accident, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, like that's like inappropriate. Like I have to stop. Mm-hmm. But so yesterday I was sitting with my sister and like, so like pretend we're like sitting here, whatever, like I'm sitting on the ground and my sister's like back there or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like I'm showing her stuff on my phone. And then my brother, he like turns the corner. So like he just like walks in to talk to my dad and then he turns the corner and then he's like, oh, Roxanne, you have a privacy screen protector. And I was like, bro, you're just peeking at my stuff.
Himself.
Literally. And I was like, and he was like, and he's like, oh, it sucks because I can still see your phone's on. And I was like, well, can you see the content? He's like, no. And I was like, so it's a win for me.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's all that matters.
That's literally why I got him mostly because I was like, from him because I know he's got lurking eyes. It's funny because I don't have anything to hide. I'd say I'm a pretty open person.
Yeah.
Like one of the most open people out there. Like I will, if someone asks me something, I will tell them the truth. Yeah. If it's my truth. I won't tell other people's stuff.
Of course, yeah.
But I will tell my own stuff. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, it's true. So I'm like, why not? So it's funny that he, for some reason, wants to peek at my phone because, like, if he just asked me outright, I'd definitely tell him everything. Mm-hmm. But I was, like, dying that he just outed himself. So keep the change. But yeah, so I have the phone. It's beautiful. Nice. I'm loving it. I'm thriving.
No, yeah. When you said that, I was like, thank God you did. It's like, like, before, I felt like I was just getting Apple phones just because, like, it's just, like, the thing to do. You know? It's just the most common thing. It's just the easiest, the simplest thing to do. But I feel like, because I have the 13 Pro, so they're pretty similar. But, like, ever since I got this, I, like, fully stand by Apple phones because they improved the camera so much. Like, it is night and day compared from the one previous to it. Whatever that was. Was it the 11? Or was it 12? I don't know.
There was a 12, yeah.
So, like, night and day. Like, they improved it so much. Like, the camera alone is literally worth it.
Yeah, like, So I was like, you know what? And this was an investment. Like, I was like, I really love this phone. Like, I love the shape of it and everything. And I was like, you know what? And I'm really happy with the camera quality. Like, the thing with the 11, it was kind of dicey. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like sometimes it would take good pictures. And then sometimes I would be like, I would cry. And I have an identity crisis because of how ugly I looked in those photos. But it was because, like, it was, like, mildly distorted. Mm-hmm. But in this one, like, already, I'm like, I'm so excited.
It's so good.
I'm so stoked. So,
you know what? Sorry, you're talking about Andre reminded me of. So he owed me money for something, so he sent me an e-transfer.
Good question. Sorry, good reminder. He owes me money.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry, Andre. Ow. Sorry. So he sent me an e-transfer, and I go and I don't have automatic deposit into my account, so I need security questions. And then I open up his, and of course I see the security question is like, who is the best? And right away I was like, oh, I know, Sundri. I'm like, he only him would put himself in, and then okay,
you know it's in my family.
Yeah, you would too. But it was just so funny. And then I go, so I did it. Whatever, got my money. Didn't even need to ask him. And then I get like a message like a couple hours later, and he's like, I forgot to tell you the password, but I see you already knew the right answer. And I was like, this was all planned. This is all pre-planned. Like he was never gonna tell me the answer. I had to get it myself. Like,
he's so toxic. Like this kid. So he Hold on. So he sends me a post. I posted to my story a few days back. Oh my gosh, what did he say? I was like, you owe me money for a ticket or whatever. And he's like, KK. And I'm like, I know I'm not getting it. He doesn't know how much it is. But whatever. So he sends me a post. And he's like, so the post was, you saw it. Mm-hmm. So post was me and my best friend thinking we are the main characters or whatever. And then it's from The Devil Wears Prada. She's like, everyone wants to be us. And so he sent it to me and he's like, you in a nutshell. Right? And I found that hilarious. Like, just the fact that he saw that and he's like, I have to send this to her. I have to send this to Roxanne immediately. So he goes, sends it to me, whatever. I screenshot it, posted to my story, right? And I was like, love my fans. And he responds to my story and he says, this is theft. And do you know what I respond? One man's trash is another man's treasure.
So good.
And then also another time, like I posted something, I don't know, something is like, I love pretending that I'm conceited on Instagram. It's my favorite role that I play. It's being the hot ex is tiring, but someone's got to do it. And then he fires back with, you wish you were an ex? And then he says, oh, shucks, I played myself. But what happened was, so I got the notification, like, because I was on my phone or whatever. And then so I scrolled and I saw that it was there. So I pressed it to enter the chat. But for some reason, it didn't load. So I thought he deleted it. So I was like calling him out. I was like, nice try deleting your reply or whatever. And then I was like, luckily my notifications show me your flaws. But then I like refreshed and I saw them. And I was like, plot twist, so embarrassing. And I was like, and I was like, I'd love to see you stumbling on your own words though, whatever. Like, because you also made a mistake anyways. And then he's like, LMAO, you just stumbled on your own. And then he's like, but I too tried to unsend my reply. So we both, I tried to unsend my reply. He tried to unsend his. It was so funny. We're both just toxic. That's just the end of it. So
it's a good time. It's a good toxic.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the best kind of toxic,
exactly.
You know? So, but yeah, me and him, you know, we go way back. He's a character and a half, let me tell you. Like, we went to... Did you already talk about Andre having a shirt unbuttoned?
No.
Yeah, so we had a soccer tournament. Because I think we recorded before the soccer tournament.
Yeah, we recorded before,
So we had a soccer tournament that we were talking about earlier. And... So side note, so I concussed a guy at this soccer tournament, okay? How, you may be asking yourself, excellent question. So I borrowed Augustus's cleats who are severely worn out. So my stopping the entire day was abysmal. Like, it was awful. Like, I ran into people left, right, and center.
Yeah.
But there's this one case where I was so close to the net, right? And then the ball got passed to me, but like I had to run a little bit to get it. And the goalie was running to get it. And I thought he was just going to kick it out because I was running so fast. But instead, he like bent down to pick it up. But by the time like my brain fully figured out and I tried to stop, like I did try to stop, but it was just like too late. And then like I felt my feet slipping. Physics. So he's like bent over. I'm running this way. I go run into him like this. I slide under him. Like I get clotheslined by him. And he like falls and he's like rubbing his neck or whatever. And like everyone else is kind of like, oh, like game on, or like kind of telling him to go forward. And I was like, okay, but like guys, like I was like, give the guy some slack. Like he did like, it's a head injury. Like you don't play around with that stuff. Because I was like, are you okay? And he was so mad. Like I gave him my hand to stand up and he didn't take it. And I was like, fair, like I get it, but like accidents do happen. And the thing is, it was a full accident. Yeah. Like what would I benefit by freaking running into you on purpose? Like, you know, like realistically nothing. So like that happened, and then like, so whatever, we played our game and he was like just fine, whatever. And then later turns out like I find out so that was I think our third game or something, our first win of the day. So it turns out like later in the day when he was playing a different game, he was kind of like passing out. So he like sat down and then he was like, I don't feel good. So he got concussed and they all had to leave. And I was like, oops. Oopsies. That was my bad. But anyways, and then after there was a Zabava and like we all went, had a good time, you know. It's like I feel like we haven't had a group Zabava in so long. Like we tried to do Yuki Fest, but
that one failed.
And that was also hard because we were performing, so it's like we couldn't even go that hard. Like you know, like even like staying up that late we couldn't because we had to wake up early and like dancing day. I was like, we can't exhaust ourselves. We never got a chance to like really dance it out or whatever, and like because we're always just like so busy with dance and stuff. But anyways, we're not complaining, we're just saying these are the plights of being semi-professional dancers.
Exactly.
But so we go to Zabava and it was nice. Like we came from a soccer tournament. We were all toast. Yeah. Like, poor Andre, like, this kid, sorry, but, like, poor, like, my brother, he was goalie. He did a great job as goalie. I'm not gonna lie. He never played goalie before. He was always, like, on the field. But, like, we didn't really have anyone else to do, so he was doing it. It was hilarious. We had people cheering for him. Like, people were, like, other teams were cheering for him because, like, they couldn't believe the shots that he was stopping. Like, we were facing, like, really high-quality teams, and Andre, and my brother was stopping, like, really hard shots. It was very impressive. But anyways, so the one game, I just remember one game we were playing, like, he stopped the ball, and then, like people, like, another team was, like, chanting, they're like, there's a brick wall in front of the net, like, all this stuff, like, just, like cheering us on, or, well, him on. And then specifically, I remember, so, like, the team we were facing, the very last game we were facing, like, we were out of the finals fair. We only won one game out of playing 6. But granted, they did make us play our first 2 games back to back. We had space and then we had a little bit of time into our 3rd game. And then from our 3rd game into our 4th game, we had, like, an hour. So it's like, you know, you get cold, and, like, going back on the field was so hard. So we played game 4, 5, and 6 back to back. So we were just, like, toast. But anyways, so for our last game, like, we were out of the finals, whatever. Like, we were like, that's fair. Like, so many of us, like, we never even played as a team before. We had people who were playing, like, they had jerseys, like, coordinated jerseys.
Yeah, they
so
all
I was like,
played rep.
Yeah. But not even just that, they just played as a team, you know? So I was like, because you could tell there were some teams that had rep players. They didn't do as well, but, like, it was the 2 first place and second place. They both, even actually the team that came in 3rd place, like, they had great team chemistry, where, like, they, like, none of them were really professional, but they knew what to do. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Like,
but the top 2 teams were, like, teams that they played together. But anyways, so the last game, the people that we were facing, in order to get into the finals, they needed to score 11 goals on us or something. And considering we were the team second from the bottom, like, I think they thought they had a chance. Yeah. So, like, my brother's in net, whatever. And, like, the first half, I think they only got, like, 1 in. Fine, whatever. Second half, they're, like, launching. Like, and, like, these people are kicking the ball, like, so close. Because we're playing, like, 5v5. So, like, there's no limit of where you can stand. These people were launching the balls on my brother. And, like, he actually held up. But there was this one guy who had, like, a nasty kick. And, like, I just remember this guy goes. He launches. And then my brother, he's standing there. And he just, like, turned to run away from the ball because he was like, I don't want to get smacked by the ball again. Yeah. As he turns, he stops the ball. The guy was so mad. Like, I've never seen anyone get so heated from, like, a fair play. Yeah. So mad. It was hilarious. And then I think we only ended up losing to them, like, 3-0 or 4-0 or something, but, like, considering how good they were, I was like, very valid. Yeah. But I almost had a really cool header goal.
Yeah, I've heard.
So, like, our goalie, like, launches it. At that time, it was a different goalie who stepped in. Shout out Yoram if you're watching. He was actually on our two of our episodes of Baked and Cooked. Yeah. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, so he launches the ball across the field. And I was just cherry picking, so I was just hanging out with the goalie. Because also this team was really good. Like, we didn't stand a chance. So, like, he lobs it across the field and I'm just standing there. So he goes and I see the ball coming and I was like, I'm going to header it just for fun because I always see people do it. And I was like, it's so stupid. So I was just headering it. I didn't even mean for it to go backwards because I'm facing our own net. Yeah. Like, the opposite net's that way. I thought I was going to just header it and, like, it'll end up to one of my teammates. It ends up going backwards. It, like, goes between, like, if the goalie had, like, stopped it, like, an inch lower, it would have went in because it bounced off his hands and hit the crossbar. And even he was like, the entire game, I was, like, barely paying attention. He's like, in that moment, he thought that for sure he was going to get scored on. And I was like, yeah. But it doesn't matter. It was iconic. It was iconic. What can I say?
It's wild. I wasn't there, but I heard all about it from many different perspectives.
Yeah. But it was intense. It was nice. It was lots of fun. And then, yeah, we had the nice above after and, like, we were all done. But my brother... He's nuts. Like, there's something about my family that we're just a little party animal.
Yeah, you guys go crazy, but I love it.
We go ham, but it happens to the best of us, you know? But I'm more just like, I'm a dancer and I don't care. Like, I'm someone who, like, if I want to dance, I'm going to dance. Yeah. I don't care about who's watching. I don't care if no one's watching. I don't care if a million people are watching, right? Like, I'm doing this for me because I want to do this. So also starts off with like the band starts playing and like the first song and like no one wants to dance on the first song. Fair, I guess, from other perspectives. From my perspective, I don't get it, but whatever. But also my brother's in the same boat. So I was like, hey, let's go dance. And he's like, fine. So we dance, whatever. And then like eventually other people join in because they see finally someone else broke the ice. And I was like, sweet. The band gives us free drinks. Yeah. Because they're like shout out to like the siblings because like they know us or whatever. They know both of us. They like shout out like to those siblings like they always dance first for us or whatever. So like shout out to them and like gave us free drink tickets. Hilarious because turns out they were pop tickets. So my brother went to the thing and they were like he was like he gives the ticket and they're like this is for pop and he's like what and he's like you guys saw me get he's like I got it from the band and then they were like luckily they know us too so they were like yeah it's okay and the same with mine I was like I know this is a pop one but like they said it was a free drink ticket and they were like okay yeah it's fine so low but at the end of the night somehow this kid had his shirt unbuttoned but he just had his shirt unbuttoned and he's like dancing around and I was like I don't know why like we're all in a circle the friend group you know we pulled up we showed off and he's just dancing with his shirt unbuttoned. Granted, he did button it up shortly after, but it was just unbuttoned for far too long. Night.
It was very wild.
What can I say? We go crazy, so.
Yeah, it was good to be back. Stay tuned for the next.
Exactly.
We never know when it's going to happen.
Literally.
In these streets. But we're ready. We're ready for it.
We're ready for everything.
We're ready for
But speaking of dancing and music, let's do Song of the Week.
Song of the Week?
Yeah.
Roxanne's City Scramble?
Do you hear the way she talks to me? Everyone, this is what I'm saying. Everyone pins you as the goody two shoes. Yet here you are, ripping me a new one. Me, I'm gonna go with 100 Degrees by Kenzie.
Oh, I love Kenzie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kenzie.
So it's kind of a bop. The lyrics, not so much. The lyrics could room for improvement. Let's stick with that. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of a bop.
Gosh, I don't know what to do. I have so many songs of the week.
Okay.
What are we gonna pick? I don't know. Okay. Okay, fine. We'll do My Head and My Heart by Ava Max. It's a very catchy one. It has I love when songs sample like older songs and make their own twist.
I hate that.
But really?
Interesting, yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot most of the time. I can see why you can hate it because they can very easily be worse. But
it's not just that, it's just so unoriginal.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's kind of a bop when you put a modern twist. This one is I forget what's the original song. Da na 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 na. Na 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 na. So she samples that. And then do the twist. And I don't know, it's so catchy.
Oh, okay.
That I don't know.
I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, that's the one she does. So I'll do that. I have so many songs of the week. It'll still probably be my next week's songs. Next week we have to do a Pilates video. But I was going to do a Giveon one. Because we haven't talked about our Giveon concert night.
Yeah.
That was an interesting night as well.
Do you want the last slice?
No, but I'll just put it away.
Then I'll eat it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. But yeah, we went to Giveon. I think we said that we were going. The last podcast. Also, I'm like I sit so unflatteringly on this podcast. I am so sorry. Mainly to myself. Because when I watch myself in the edit, I'm like this. Like literally like the craziest sitting positions. But look, I can't help it. I just want to be comfy.
You're just so raw and real.
I'm just raw and real. This is how I sit, okay? Am I like a 14-year-old boy? Maybe. And too bad.
How do I do not disturb on this guy?
When you put a widget down? Okay, sorry. Anyways, so yeah, we went to Giveon, me, Roxanne, and Nadia last week. So we get there, and like we went after work because me and Nadia had work till 5 that day. And I was like, I knew. No, it's not the word. Preemptively. As a regular GA concert goer in the past life, I preemptively knew and expected that there would be a huge lineup at that point because I know people would go early to line up. But again, A, I was working. B, I don't know if I can wait in line at this point in my life long times for general admission concert. I think it's a bit behind me. So I was like, I'm cool with going like just right after work. We'll probably wait for an hour. But I'm cool with that. Wherever that gets us, I'm cool.
Gets us whatever we get.
Yeah, you guys were cool with that, so I was like, cool, thanks. So it was at History, which is Drake's venue, which honestly, I gotta give a shout out to that. They had like, okay, I'll give my overall thoughts at the end. So we went to History, middle of nowhere. The location kind of does suck.
Yeah.
Like the location really, really sucks. Because there's literally like, you're either taking a streetcar or there's one bus to get there. And like, just imagine the nightmare that it is after when everyone's going home. Like, it's impossible to get home. But yeah, I was at History. We get there and like the line wrapped around the building. Yes. As I suspected. I hoped it was a little smaller, but you know, it was cool. It was cool. I was what I expected. I was not surprised. It went by really quick though.
Yeah.
Like they were efficient getting people in, which I was so impressed by, because the amount of venues I've been to, the amount of times like I waited, like I was so impressed by them. The security was great. They had proper security, which I think is important to have these days at concerts, and many of the standing venues don't have that. So the fact that he had proper security, very good. The venue was like quite big. You went to go get merch in line, which I'll shout out. This is why she's my best friend, because we went and stood in the pit because we had general admission. And then I was like, ooh, I completely forgot about merch. Like, it didn't even cross my mind until we were like standing and like waiting around. Then I was like, oh shoot, merch. And because I love Giveon. Like, I'm going to keep it real with you. I love Giveon. And I was like, shoot, I know I'm going to regret not getting the merch. But then I was like, okay, like we can't leave this thing because I know the pit gets nuts, and like to get back and like, you know, we're just going to get a worse spot. And then you were like, oh, I can go away. And I was like, oh, like, I don't want you to, like, but she's such a good person. My God. Like,
what could I say? Genuinely, because like genuinely, I don't mind. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is about me, but like, I'm like, for some things I'm so patient, and like for that, like to stand in line, I was like, I would have stood waiting, listening to music anyways. And I was like, why not? And I was like, I know I wanted merch too. So I was like, even if you guys didn't want it, I'd be like, I'm going to go stand in line.
Yeah.
And then I was like, might as well, yeah.
Because his merch was really nice.
Oh,
and like
my
the
gosh,
quality, like literally, because all three of us went to the weekend a month ago, and God, he scammed us hard with the merch. The merch is awful. Like, it's awful quality. It's literally just a laminate, whatever, press on. Like, it's literally
it's just vinyl.
It's just the vinyl square.
It's gonna peel in like 2 minutes. You can't wash it.
And it's just a square. Like, they didn't even try to make a nice vinyl design. It's literally just a square they just pressed on. Like, it's so bad. And like, this merch was like so nice and cheaper at that too, which makes sense because he's smaller, but like still, like the quality was amazing.
Yeah. And then you got a tote bag.
And I got a tote bag too.
But yeah, like people were trying to cut. And like the thing is, like, I was patient because I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna go back and try to cut to stand with my friends. So I was like, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna be like a little pushy. Like, I was like, if people aren't gonna let me through, that's fine. And because I was because like I knew you wanted to be close. Yeah. But I genuinely didn't mind. Like, I was like, I could be in the back or whatever, and I did my show. I was like, worst case, I get stranded in the back. Like, that's fine. We'll meet up after, you know? But I was like, you know what? I'll try to like mosey my way in. Like, I'll be very polite. And if someone says something, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I will stay back. You know, like it's not a big deal for me.
And like, granted, like me and Nadia, we weren't like a spot we had originally. Like, it wasn't so far front that you'd be like pushing all the way to the barricade, right? It was like,
it was like 3 rows of people. Like that I like when I came back or whatever, I'd say there's like 3 rows of people that I had to cut through to get you guys, and then there's another 2 that I couldn't get through.
It all takes a turn, guys.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me start. So I'm standing in line, and like, the line was long, but it was moving. So that's why I was like, I know I told you guys like 5 minutes, ended up being like 20. Yeah. But it was because like it was moving. So I was like, hey, I know I'm gonna get merch. And I was like, I've already stood this far and I'm already out. And then I turned back and I was like, there's already a line of people. So I was like, okay, why not? And like at one point, like someone tried to like a woman just like kind of stood it like in line, like kind of between me and the people in front of me, but like to the side. So as though like she was with them, and then she kind of like tucked it in front of me. But then I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be like, what are you doing, like cutting or whatever. I was like, I don't care. And I was like, so I just scoot in front of her. And then there's another guy who comes up to the guy in front of me, and he's like, oh my gosh, hey, like blah blah blah. And then like, but I don't think they knew each other because later like the guy was like, all right, thanks. And then he like just like kind of like cut right behind him. And I was just like standing there, and then like the guy that was in front of me turns around, he's kind of like, oh, like ask her to make sure it's okay. Like, cause he felt uncomfortable too. Cause it's kind of like, especially with merch, it's like, it could run out. And like, if someone who stood in the back stood there and then like they risked their time to like, what's it called? Like to get merch and like they don't even get merch. Oh, I would be so upset. So I just kind of like stood there and like I was kind of like staring at the guy in front of me because he turned around and I was like, and he's kind of like asked her whatever, and the guy was like, no, or whatever. And then like I just kind of like didn't let up. So like I also just went in between them and I was like, people behind me have a problem with them too. They can say something. And I was like, karma will get them eventually. So I just kept pushing and I was like, well, I didn't even like push. I was just kept nonchalantly walking and I was like,
what you gotta do.
And then we copped the merch.
It just blows my mind because something happened in line too. It blows my mind, like just like that people, I don't know, because we're going to get to a couple of stories in a minute and maybe I'll have a spiel at the end. People don't know how to act. Like, and it pisses me off that there's just common things out of respect and like just how you act that people just have no regard for. And it blows my mind that you can function this way and you feel fine doing this to people and acting this way. And it just blows my mind. Like, I really, like, and you see the worst of it at a general admission concert. Like, you see the worst of people come out at a general admission concert. And, like, I'd like to say it gets better, but it doesn't. But when we were in the outside line to get into the venue, so you and Nadia went to... Harvey's, A&W, whatever. Harvey's to go get, some food or whatever. I stayed waiting in line because I think I was the most well-dressed and equipped for it. So I was like, I don't mind waiting. Like, it's cool. It was also freezing that night. Yeah. Crazy. But, so yeah, I was standing in line and I was alone. And there was another girl behind me that was alone. So whatever, we're moving. At this point, we've, like, made it, like, I'd say a quarter from where we started. And then some girl comes out of nowhere. And, like, I very much give off the vibes, like, don't talk to me. So she approaches the single girl behind me and she's like, hey, I'm alone. Do you mind if I just stand with you? And I was like, no. I would, if she did this to me, I'd be like, straight up like, no, like, come earlier.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're alone or not. You can't wait alone at the back. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, that rubbed me, like, it's the wrong way. Like, you can't use that as an excuse. I'm alone. So?
Yeah. And it's different if it's like, I do find it different that like we showed up together and then we just went to get food because it's like if it's like we literally showed up at that time.
Yeah.
And we stood in line.
That's different, yeah.
But like that, it's like
I don't get that. And like if let's say hypothetically I went to a concert alone, I would literally never ask someone that. I would go right to the back or whatever. When you come is when you come. Yeah. You have to accept that. If you wanted a spot earlier, come earlier. If you're going alone and you're uncomfortable standing in line with people, don't come or show up right when it starts so you don't have to wait alone in line. Like, or
wait and meet up with someone in the back until you find someone you feel comfortable and stand with them in the back.
Like that to me, I was like, and then the girl behind me was so uncomfortable. I could tell because it's like, what do you like? I guess for her, I would have straight up been like, no, I have zero tolerance for that. But like, she was so uncomfortable, and then turns out she was actually waiting for someone too. I guess her boyfriend came. And then it was just so awkward. Like that girl was just kind of standing to the side. And then I saw her like because she was like trying to stand like beside me. And then I just kept like moving forward. I was like, no, you're not pulling that stunt with me.
Yeah.
And it's just so like, I don't know. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
But back to the concert. So yeah, we're waiting for Roxanne. She's in the merch line. So me and Nadia are kind of just chilling. And within that time frame, he had two opening acts. So one fully went on when you were still in line. And then the other one was like a bit halfway when you started coming. So in this time, this is where the fun begins, guys. I think I've said this on the podcast back because the last general admission concert I've been to was pre-pandemic. Pretty much was the last one I went to. And I remember very, very much that one was horrible. I remember at that one I was like, I'm never going to general admission again. And I say this, I've been saying this for the past, well, not 2 years, don't count because the pandemic years, but since times before, every time I've been to GM, I'm like, this is it. And then I'm always somehow at a general admission concert. Anyways, so we have a spot. We're in front of, somehow me and Nadia, well, actually Nadia's, 6'7", but I'm not. But we somehow end up behind these, 6'10" men. Somehow, some way. But we were like, whatever, this is our spot. We're cool with it. We'll wait till you get back and then we'll try to shift left or right. Then the first fun begins. We get these girls behind us and they're like so angry at everyone. Like they were like so mad at the men, look, again, come earlier. Like at the end of the day, yeah, it sucks that they're tall and it sucks that, we're short and we can't see over them, but they waited in line. They got there ahead of us. They deserve that spot at the end of the day. Like just because they're tall, they're going to go stand at the back. Like if they came earlier, they get that spot. Like that's, you can't do anything about it.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
And I get it sucks that you can't see, but like That like
move to the side.
Exactly.
Then.
You
Like,
that's like literally that's you can't complain. Like at the end of the day, like I can be like, oh, it's so annoying that we're behind them, but like that's my spot. Whatever, I gotta own it. But yeah, they were complaining about them. There's people trying to like move to the front, which again can't stand, but whatever. Because there's some people that we'll get to that in a second. That like.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to come back stand with people who've been reserving a spot. It's people who literally will try to just get to the front. Yeah. Which is, stay tuned for 2 seconds. So like they're like just aggressively mad. And they did the same thing. They did the same thing later. And I was like, literally shut up. So me and Nadia were like, look at each other like, oh my God, like Roxanne's going to hear it from these people. Of course we're here. So we try to like shift a bit to like the left side. Whatever. So then there's a group of like 4 guys and like a girl, and they try to all link up and go to the front, and they're like kind of like laughing, whatever. And we're like, okay, whatever. So we kind of go step into their spot, and these are the water bottle guys. Yeah. And then no one lets them go front. Shocker. So they come barging back, and they're like push me and Nadia. And like, there's no space for them anymore because everyone's kind of shifted. But they want their original spot back, which is like, if you lose it, you lose it. Like, you got to accept it. But they just go push me and Nadia, and they're like laughing with us. They're like, "Oh, we're all in this together, right?" And me and Nadia are like, literally shut up. And then they were like, they went in front of us, and we were just uncomfortably standing, like squished up against them because we had nowhere to go. And it was just so. Me and her were like, "Oh my God, like shut up." Anyway, so then we finally see Roxanne behind us, and we're like, okay, she gets closer. We did such a good job describing our spot to you.
I saw you, because I saw the tall men. Yeah. Like once, like when you said that, and I was like, hey, I saw them, and I was like, because I knew that it was, because you guys sent me a picture. Yeah. Of where you stood. So then I was like, okay, so I just like stood and lined up that vision, and then on top of that, you said like where it was.
I saw the roof tee, and I was like, well, this is like next level place here.
Yeah. So that was good.
We guided her right back, and literally we look back, and she's like 3 people behind us. We're like, oh wow, great, we did a great job. Yeah. And this is on the second act, and like yeah, you said you're okay with being in the back, but like me and Nadia were like, we came here together, like we want to be together. Like obviously you don't talk through a concert, but we want to stand together and enjoy it. Yeah. And we're like, okay, let's see if she can get back here. And then me and Nadia were like, okay, if she can't, we'll just move back. It's 3 rows or whatever. Yeah. I was like, I'll just try to. I was like, the only thing I was like, I'll try to get as close as possible. Yeah. Like I knew like you guys were pretty close, so like I was like, I didn't want to like start like beef or anything. Yeah. That's the last thing I wanted. So I was like, I'm just gonna make it as far as possible. And then worst case, they'll come to me. Like, I'm sure that'll always be fine, you know? So that was the plan. So we kind of vibing it out. And there's these 2 girls behind us that were just not letting you. Like, they were not going to let you. It was just like, okay, fine, fair. I get it. But, like, whatever. So then I turned to them because the second act's done. And I'm like, okay, we have, like, 5 minutes on the clock. Yeah. That was, maybe I missed wait a little bit. But anyways, I was like, we have time. Let's just go back. And I was like, there was 2 of the girls. And there's 2 of me and Nadia. And I was like, hey, do you mind? Do you want to do a swap? My friend's right there. Like, and I wasn't asking for, I did not even ask for Roxanne to come to us. Yeah. I said, we want to go to them. And I was like, I know if we move, there can be a whole kerfuffle and everything. So I was like, can we do a swap? Like me and Nadia for you and your friend. Yeah. And they like rolled their eyes and just gave us like such attitude, and they were like, yeah, fine, whatever. And I was like, I'm literally giving you a better spot. Like what? And then whatever. So we switched with them. Turns out they were with some man also. And so then they're like, oh, they don't want these spots anymore. And they like pull him in front of me and Nadia. And me and Nadia were like, oh my God, like just so rude. Like I'm literally giving you a better spot and you have to give this attitude. Whatever. So we end up all together. And what a great spot we had in the crowd. We're so blessed.
I was really proud of myself. Yeah. So, okay. So me coming back, I was like, listen, like if one person gives me any heck or whatever, like I was like, I'll just bow out, whatever. So it starts, so I get there and like, there's a little bit of room. So I just kind of like it was perfect that I was like, it was just me. Like I think if it was the 3 of us, we wouldn't have made it. Yeah. But like, I just like go through and like, whatever. And then I say like about like 2 rows of people in, there's these girls that like were also trying to go through, so I was kind of following them, but then like they stopped at one point, so I was like standing kind of with someone, and then they were like, oh, we're together, and I was like, you're both standing like this, and I was just like a touch in front, so I just like pulled back, and then they were like, okay, like you can go. And I was like, I was just really, I genuinely did not understand what they were trying to say because they're like, we're together. And I was like, I'm not standing between you two.
Yeah.
I'm just standing I'm standing like a step in front of you. But okay. And then the girls that I was like hanging off their coattails, granted, they were great. They were like, oh, my friend's all up there alone. Like, we have to go meet her. There was no friend. No, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I get it the reverse. So it's like you guys were there and I was going. I could just tell. I was like, they absolutely have no friend there.
Yeah.
So like they go or whatever. And then like I get to this one point and I was like, I know I'm not going to make it through because I'm going to start ruffling some feathers. So I was like, and that's when I saw you guys like 3 people away, whatever. And these girls, like they tried to like, and I was like, okay, like I'm good with here. And then like, I think they were hoping I would start pushing through, but I was like, I'm not clued out enough in my life to just push people and pretend like they're not upset with me.
Yeah.
Like the only reason I made it that far was because I managed to like, kind of like just go like next to people. You know, I wasn't going in front of people, nothing like that. I was just going like next, and there was like gaps. So I was like, I'm filling a gap. Yeah. The gap's there. Like if you wanted to stand there, you could have stood there. So I was like, I was like, I'm not doing anything else, right? And then so it starts like, you guys join me. And then these girls are like screaming, which fair. You're at a concert trying to have fun, whatever.
There's levels though.
But then they start like pushing us. Yeah. And I think it started like pushing Nadia. And I'm someone who like, it's 100% worse when I see someone else pushing someone else rather than pushing me. Like push me, fine. Push someone else? Like I was like standing there and I was like, don't do it. I was like, this is not the season.
Yeah. The detail you're missing is they were drunk out of their minds. Yeah. Which is another side point. It's like, I don't understand why you would go to a concert and you would want to get to that point
where there's no way you remember the concert.
They weren't pushing you guys. They couldn't stand straight, so they kept like wobbling and like knocking into you. That's what was going on because I had the side view of what was happening. Yeah. So I'm like, why would if you're gonna get that, you want to have a night with your friends and you're gonna get blackout drunk at a concert. Okay, don't get it, but fine. Yeah. Go do it at the back by the bar. Why are you coming in the pit if you can't even stand up?
That's like, what I'm saying.
They couldn't stand up. Like they were getting strangers all night to like lean against them and hold them. And I was like, thank God they know not to do it to us. But yeah.
Well, so first they spilled their drink on me and Nadia, and I like turned around and like kind of gave them eyes because I was like, you guys are on thin ice. Yeah. Like I was so close to literally being like turning around and like smacking the drink out of their hands. Like, but anyway, so like whatever, like, and they're kind of shoving Nadia, like whatever. I guess they're leaning on her and stuff. And then at one point, one of them like smacks me in the back, but like her hand kind of lingered and then she like took it off and I turned around and I was like, I'm going to politely ask you to stop touching me. And like, she tried to say something snarky back. Yeah. I was like, I don't even care what she says right now. I was like, I said, I'm politely asking you to stop touching me. When I could have done a lot worse. Like she smacked and like it hurt. Yeah. Because it's like in the back. Yeah. And she like smacks. No, but like that's the thing. Like if you fall on someone, you place your hand. She smacked my back.
Because I saw what happened.
And I was like,
she couldn't stand and then she was literally gonna fall. So she full on went boom to you.
Yeah. And I was like,
she went full, and then she was like drunk. So that's why she lingered because she had to like gain her composure to figure out how to stand.
But I was like, and then
it's just like, how do you not like? How can you be okay with, like, first of all, how are you not embarrassed? Like, if I was acting like that, I'd be embarrassed out of my mind. And then to have someone call you out, like, that's why she retaliated, because she was embarrassed. And then she was like, oh, whatever. And they were just, like, the most annoying people you could ever have. And, they were screaming because they were drunk. Giveon wasn't on yet. And they were screaming.
And I was like, okay,
like,
weird.
They were so freaking annoying the whole concert. And then, like, before the concert started, because they're not done. They still linger. So the 4 guys, or like I said earlier, that tried to push, and then they pushed me and Nadia back, whatever. So the security guards in history, which I've never seen this done before. This is why I have to give history a shout out.
They did at Janoskians.
Yeah, but we were right at the like at the front, so like that's normal. But the security came in the crowd and would give the GA water bottles, and their own water bottles at that, which I guess makes sense now because of like COVID and just the germs situation in general. But so they were handing out waters, and then those 4 guys like took like their own waters, and one was open. I guess he lost his cap, didn't want to hold it. So he's like, oh, pass this back. And he's like shoving it in our faces. Nadia makes a mistake to grab it because she's so kind. Yeah. And then no one wants the water that these men drank. Obviously, like there's enough water to go around. Like no one wants to share an open bottle. So she tries to give it back and they won't take it. Like they're joking around and like they're like trying to make it like they're so cool. Like they don't want it back. They're joking. Like, and they're just so cocky and like, oh my God, it pissed.
Yeah, their attitude.
Yeah.
So like on top of like the girls in the back where I was like you, and then later you guys were like, oh, they're drunk or whatever, and I was like, fine, I get that, but like
it's not
literally
an excuse,
leave me alone. Like literally I was like, I'm gonna lose it on them.
Yeah.
And then I saw the water bottle thing and I was just seeing their attitude. I was like, nah, you give it to me.
Yeah.
So me and I just swap places. I grabbed the bottle from her and I was like, I'm gonna put it in his shirt. Not like I wasn't gonna like spill it on him. I was gonna like tuck it there so he has to grab it, right? Yeah. But luckily I said it with enough force. Like I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, you're gonna take that back. With enough force that he took it. And he was like he couldn't even look at me. He stuck his hand out and I was like, you're gonna take this back. And he like couldn't even turn around and I was like, good call, because I was gonna put it down your shirt. Yeah. And then if that failed, I probably would have poured it on him, honestly. I was kind of sick of his attitude because he was just like so stupid. He was like, oh, like pass it back. And then Nadia's like, take it. And he's like, oh. And I was like,
literally
disgusting,
so gross,
toxic. And I was like, literally,
so yeah. So that was our experience. This is all before Giveon. So like, it's always just waiting right for the artist to come on. That it's like the worst possible time ever. But then Giveon came on. Guys, I don't know. Something has to be wrong with this man. Okay, he's too perfect. He looks perfect. His skin's perfect. His bone structure. His voice.
His outfit.
Oh my God! Just this man is too perfect. And I was like, maybe he's gonna sound horrible live, and that's what's wrong with him. No, he sounds exactly, if not better, than his recorded stuff. Like, oh my God, voice incredible. Like, I was like, I'd say 50-50 knowing his songs. So like even the ones I didn't know, like just hearing his voice, like it was so good, and like I was just mesmerized. Yeah, like he was just one of those artists. Yeah, it's just you're like don't even know what to say because he's so good. So yeah, it was incredible. One last point about the fun crowd is I think those girls migrated more behind me because they were more behind you and Nadia at the beginning, and I think they kind of shifted towards me. And look, I know that people get slack for recording at concerts and they're like, why can't you just enjoy this stuff? Look, I don't care. Let me live my life. Okay, maybe I want to relive seeing Giveon every day. Maybe I look at these videos every single day. Okay, leave me alone. I like to record at concerts, okay?
But even just that, everyone records.
Yeah.
Like, what? Even like a little snippet. Like, I recorded a little snippet here and there, but I mostly watch. But it's like, who cares if you're recording a concert? You can both hold a camera up and still live in the moment. Like, I'm so confused why people say that, like, oh, like, it's like you're pretending it's mutually exclusive. Stop playing idiot.
Yeah.
And let's actually understand that there's layers to this where it's like you can live in the moment and record. Like, I'm sorry.
Literally, I don't get it. And like, I love recording stuff because I love to live it back and I love to watch it too. So I'm like, I'm doing this. And then finally, Victory has, like we said earlier, an amazing camera. Okay. And this is my first concert that I've been to this year that hasn't been like section 300 in ACC, which I still get good pictures and videos with the camera in those sections, but I was close enough where I knew if I used my Zoom, like I was getting an HD video of Giveon. And like I said, Giveon's one of the most beautiful, perfect people I've ever seen in my life. Like, of course I'm getting a dang video of Giveon. So it was my mission to get and then Victory's learning how to work her camera. She still doesn't know, but so whatever. Like the whole concert, I was recording quite often, and I think they migrated behind me. And they were getting pissed that I was recording because I had to I ended up again behind another 6'10" man somehow, some way. So I was on like I was reaching as high as I could with my camera, and I guess it blocked their view. But here we go again. It's the whole thing. Like, I don't care. Come earlier if you want to spot. Go right at the front of the barricade. Go wait 8 hours. No cameras in front of you. Yeah. Know that you're gonna have cameras. And I get, you can be frustrated that it's blocking your view, but too bad someone's blocking my view. You know what I mean? It's just, that's how it goes. But they were getting so mad, and like I heard them making comments and like, oh, I'm gonna kill her, and I was like, I just kept recording. I recorded the whole time then. I was like, I don't even want this, but I'm recording. I don't care.
You're so lucky I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was like,
oh my gosh. I would have, I think there's a reason I didn't hear that. Because if I did, I would have turned around and been like, look at all these cameras right now.
Yeah. it's just so like, I just don't know how you can go to a concert and act like that to begin with. But as I said, I've been to millions of GA concerts that like my tolerance for what I can take at these things is so high, which is why I just somehow keep going back. Because like, believe it or not, that was awful crowd experience. But I've had 20 times worse. I've experienced way worse than that. So like my tolerance for it is high, but it's never fun. Like it's this thing of like, is it worth it? Is it not? Because like Giveon's so good and it's great to see him live and in that close retrospectively. I don't know if that was the word, but I just had to commit to that so hard. But then it's like, is it worth it? Is it not? And like for me, it is always worth it because I do love it.
I agree. I personally, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't have a great time. Like, I don't love the idea of a general admission concert, but all in all, like
at the end of the day,
to see and like hear him live, I was like, yeah, absolutely, I do it again. Like,
yeah, like the crowd.
Maybe not the same artist twice, just because it's like, okay, I heard him once, but like definitely like to hear Giveon. Like, if I had to redo that experience, like to hear him live for the first time, yeah, I do it again.
Yeah, like it sucks because you can't have a full 100% great concert experience because it has this stupid crowd that you have to deal with. But yeah, and I just think you see the worst out of people in general admission concerts.
Yeah, but
I do want to give a huge shout out to History. I thought the service was absolutely incredible, from the security to the organization. Like, it's never been like a line that big, that organized. Like, the fact they got people in so fast, the fact that they gave, I was so impressed as someone who's been to almost every venue in like the city. Like, I was so impressed with that venue. So I have to give a shout out to their services. But yeah, that was. I
haven't been to many concerts, so I can't confirm. But it was still good. Like, even with the merch lineup, like we had to like come and stand like in the part where we stood or whatever.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain. I don't know, whatever. But like it like kind of wrapped around, and like they had people like making sure that everyone was like in line and stuff. So I was like, yeah. Even the merch, like it was moving. Like there's a lot of people, but it moved.
Yeah,
so I was like
very impressed with how they organized stuff.
Yeah,
so shout out to Drake. I guess that's what happens when someone who's in the industry, actually does something like that, and it's not someone.
The only issue is the location.
The location is
I'm sorry, like that. We walked after because we were like, we knew that there's one bus going. This place is freaking packed, and we were like, no way. So we walked, and we saw one bus go by that was packed to the brim.
So we made the right decision.
We probably wouldn't have made it in time.
Waiting for an Uber, we would have waited half an hour, like,
minimum. Like, and then it would have charged. It still would have charged us through the nose. So we just walked it. And we only saw one bus pass us, so we were like,
and it was like a good 30-minute walk too. So
not even,
or just under,
but still pretty good.
That was Giveon night.
Yeah, crazy. That was, and then I proceeded to lose my voice.
Yeah, and Nadia got sick.
Oh yeah,
from it.
That sucks.
I'm shocked that I didn't get. I can't. I'm not gonna drink myself.
Yeah, don't even. I don't know why you would even. I don't know why you do it at this point, but whatever. Yeah. But yeah, no. So I lose. So at Giveon, like I was like cheering, like I was like screaming, I was like woo, whatever. And at one point I like heard like the little ooh, and I felt it in there, and I was like, I'm gonna lose my voice. I thought I was gonna lose it when I went home on Wednesday. Didn't have it lost, and I was like, okay. And then I remember Thursday I was shocked because in the morning my throat was a little raspier than usual, but around like noon it went away. And I was like, okay, like, and I was at work, and I went to work or whatever, and like I was talking the whole day, and it was fine, and I was like, weird, but whatever. And then Thursday I went to teach little kids, and Roxanne doesn't have a night. Also, side note, that was one of the creepiest sounds I've ever made in my life. But anyways, it's because I still have my rasp, so enjoy while you can. So Thursday I was like counting for the kids or whatever, and then like the room is cold. It's cold on my feet. It's cold on my body. So like just in general, I felt really cold that day. And then like always like having to count everything out and like speak nonstop for like an hour and a half. Like it's a lot for my voice, especially after working an 8-hour shift of talking. Like it's not an 8-hour shift of like silence. So I was like, so there was that. And then on top of the concert, but I thought I was out of the woods, and I was fine because when I show up to work on Friday, I'm fine. And I'm talking and I'm chatting. And then I go for my 10-minute break, and I'm sitting in the break room. And then when I sit in the break room and I face out, so facing the door of the break room, and that's into the back room of the store. And one of the workers, like, I didn't see her in the front. So like, I saw her for the first time. So I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Nothing comes out.
Nice.
And I was like, okay. Like, I was due for that. But yeah, so then I'm like, uh-oh. So starting from that 10-minute break, and through to pretty much like Monday. Because I worked Monday and Tuesday was still a little dicey. So up to like Tuesday. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days, my voice was like gone. And like, it's so funny because I think everyone thought I was like sick, which like fair. Like I do have a sinus infection, but I got that like earlier.
Yeah.
So whatever happens to the best of us, like that's why I'm sniffly. But the voice, I lose it all the time. Like the very first time I lost it, the worst was, you remember in first year?
Yeah.
When I came to your house and
never forget.
Silence. Like my vocal cords weren't rubbing together. They were toast. Like zero. Like I physically, like in this case, like I say like I lost my voice or whatever, but like you can still hear it. It's just like like that.
But yeah, no,
But that time I lost it. And do you know why? Because I was making a stupid voice. And then again, I made a stupid voice this time last year. Lost my voice. I made a stupid voice right before I got sick when I came back from what's it called? From Greece. Lost my voice. And then this time I didn't make a stupid voice per se, but I was like screaming. And then there's been other times where like during COVID mask times when we had to wear masks and stuff and I had to teach, I would lose my voice all the time. Because like you have to count out loud, you're moving, you have a mask, you have to make sure the kids hear. So like I think my vocal cords just like, they just give out. I'm also just a naturally loud person. So I mean, it's like my vocal cords probably just need some more breaks more frequently than other people do.
Yeah.
And I feel like especially now that I have a job where it's like you talk more, then I lose it more frequently. So like it's nice and deep right now. It's got some rasp to it. I prefer to my regular voice, but yeah, just everyone at work, they're like really still. And I was like, guys, why does no one understand?
I'll be back in 3 months with this voice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, we'll be like literally, which it's October. Genuinely, I'm probably going to lose it next month also. Like, I'm going to do a stupid voice and it's bound to happen.
Stupid voice anymore.
I'd rather die than do not do a stupid voice.
The stupid voice is good.
I'm number one with doing stupid voices.
Yeah, you're always good.
I can't say no to the stupid voices.
I've never lost my voice, believe it or not, like my whole life. Like when I get sick, you can tell like it'll go down a few like octaves. But I've never lost it ever.
What can I say? I've got problems.
Or talent.
Both.
Exactly. Why not both?
But that's a fact. But yeah, my vocal cords, and then the first day I got put in the back room. Like, so like I lost it Friday. So Saturday I was put in the back room. So I didn't really have to talk to anyone. So I was like, sweet. But then Sunday I got put on cash. So I was like, hi. And then like at first he like my floor leader, he was like, are you good? Like, do you think you'll be able to do it? And I was like, yeah, like it should be fine, whatever. But then like my throat just got so dry. I think it's also because the air at work is super dry.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I lost it too, is because it was already on the edge. From Wednesday, and then I think all day Thursday talking in dry environment, like I feel it in my throat. So I think that didn't help. So then on Saturday, halfway through, I was like, you need to get something to fill in because my voice was just like fully left again. So I think that's why it took so much longer to heal also, is because like the air was so dry there. And I kept having to use it, and like I would be like, I can help you, who's next? And like they wouldn't hear. And I was like, okay, cool. So love that for me. But finally I'm pretty much back to normal. So feeling fine, feeling like it doesn't hurt. It never really hurt. It would just like I would get tickles in it, so I'd have to like cough them out because it's like But you can't win them all. I'll take what I can get. That's a fact. Let me tell you.
Exactly.
But yeah. That's everything for today?
For today, yeah. Next time we come back, Roxanne will be back from Cali, so she can give a little wrap up on that.
That's
so get excited. Next week we have BRBBC dropping.
Yeah.
Yes, it is for September's month in November. We know.
This is none of your business. It's none of my business.
But get excited. When you see this, you have a week to go read Midnight Library. Yeah. So go do it right now. If you want to talk about it with us.
Midnight Library?
Yeah.
Oh, but you had more than a month.
You've had more than a month.
You should have caught on already.
But if you haven't seen it for some crazy reason, you should go get it now, because we'll be talking about Midnight Library next week with Nadia.
So don't miss out. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all our socials and your favorite podcasting platforms.
Heck yeah. And with that,
don't do too much.